important personages like the Vice Chancellor Professor Mohanta, our guest of honor Mr. Das, Professor Shoti, Professor Akil Ranjan Datta, and Rini Das, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, who kindly blessed this function from different parts of the city, and it's really a great day for me. And because a lot of unusual things happen here, and to witness that you have come, and I am really happy. Number one, Gauhati being a little hot, what kind of dress should I wear? I said, well, at least since I'm going to be given my certificate, then let me put on the suit. And what about the necktie? They said no. Like at least I like to look like a new Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Joseph Vijay. So without a necktie, I came. And the other point is that with such an important dignitaries like the Vice Chancellor and the former IAS officers like that, it reminds me of one thing, a lot of contradictory life that I have lived. My mother wanted me to be a pastor. I tried to be an IAS officer. And then in the year that I appeared in the IAS examination, I took up the IAS form, filled it up, but then came the Mizoram trouble of independence declaration by the MNF in the 1st of March 1966. So, instead of serving the government of India, I being the previous MNA member, Stone's member, I decided instead of serving the government of India, let me take up a rifle and fight. And then went on the ground. From the pastor to the IAS officer to the underground. It's very contradictory kind of decision I have to make. But anyhow, it has come up to this. And in that year, 1966, I appear in the BA examination. Well, since the examination has to be held in the month of April, and MNF Declaration of Independence was in the 1st of March 1966, 1 month before our examination. We tried together with our friends, we tried to go underground straight with. But our leaders there said, you are only 1 month away from your examination. Please appear in the examination. Even if you go underground, we will still need the degree. So very unenthusiastically, anyhow, let me appear in the BA examination. We appear in the BA examination, really not caring, we do not care whether we pass or not. Our mindset was all in the jungle underground. Anyhow, we finished the examination. Somebody in the underground came from Manipur and told me, you have passed your examination. I was really doubtful of that because when I look at my answer paper, I did not believe that I'll get passed. Maybe a slightly lazy professor looking after my answer paper might have committed a mistake and make me pass my BA examination. But in the end of 1966, secretly without the knowledge of other Manipur people or in the college. I went to DM college very secretly. All of them believed that I went home and then worked and served as a teacher there in Mizoram. I made the story like that. And then I went to my old DM college. There I found my mark sheet. And very strangely, I passed. I was really happy. And not only that, from Manipur, from the English honors student, I was the only one who passed the examination. And at the same time, I do not know, in the past course, in those days the syllabus was such that in the past course there are 7 papers. In the honors course, there are 8 papers. In one paper, in the honors course, there are 5 novels, 5 dramas, quite a lot of books to read. And then the strange thing was that, as I've written there in my book, one book, The White Devil by John Webster drama, was prescribed. And we told our professor, "Sir, please tell us this White Devil, at least the story. We do not know the story. We have not seen the book. How can we answer if there comes a compulsory question?" He said, "Well, boys, I have not seen the book myself." There came a compulsory question. Thank God that I saw that book in the Islamabad Pakistan Council Library in the year 1972. That was how many years? After 8 years or so. It was a bit late, like my certificate. So now, from there on, when I came over ground, and there was one of my classmates, my friend, who was an IAS officer, H.V. Lalringa, who was a secretary in Manipur. I requested him, please, try to get my certificate at least for a museum piece. So he said he tried hard. But in your time, you appear in the DM college, which is under the Gauhati University. But you asked it so late. There was no more DM college. Now it is DM University. No more under Gauhati University. People are at a loss where to go and what to do. And the dealing in charge said, why is it that this man has tried to get his certificate after decades and decades so late? So she was at a loss, and we totally failed. But there came Professor Akil and his friend, and when they come to Aizawl, I told those funny stories. And I told them, this is my mark sheet, this is my admit card, and so on. And they got the photocopy of that and brought here maybe to the Vice Chancellor of the Gauhati University, or I do not know. And later on they told me that we are going to prepare your certificate from the Gauhati University, which is the proper authority when you appear there. So I was really amazed, surprised. So at last, with that great effort, I received my certificate after 60 years. It really is an unusual certificate prepared by the unusual people to the unusual student. So I think that in other parts of India, there would be very few people who got their certificate after 60 years. Anyhow, the later the ceremony, then the more valuable it became. And so it will make a headline this morning also in the newspaper. It was said that Mr. Zoram Tanga is going to receive his certificate after 60 years. Well, anyhow, it makes some kind of a story. After going underground for 20 years, when I return overground, everything become topsy-turvy. And I used to say that I feel like Rip Van Winkle returning from the Catskill Mountain after sleeping there for 20 years, where everything changed. But as far as this certificate is concerned, it is 3 times that of Rip Van Winkle's sleeping time. 60 years, not 20 years. Anyhow, it makes it more valuable. So, that's about the funny story of my certificate. I'll bring it home. I do not know whether my wife will appreciate it or he will simply, it's nothing. I do not know. Anyhow, let us try to adjust on that. So that's about the certificate. One thing I said is that I'm really, really grateful. I'm really grateful for the people who make a preparation for all these things. After it seems impossible, they make it possible. And thanks to the Vice Chancellor, it's a great thing. And I'll be bringing home there in Aizawl proudly and to a very great extent. This strange Chief Minister is bringing home his strange certificate from the strange university. In Aizawl, they will say. Anyhow, it's great. Number 2 is about the present meeting. When I look at this special lecture on from guerrilla fighter to a peacemaker, I was wondering whether you are going to refer my book or as a peacemaker. My book is from the guerrilla fighter to a chief minister. Here it is a peacemaker. It serves both. I really like it because I like to make a short speech on both of them, because a peacemaker is the one that we need at the present. Let me dwell upon the book first. When I write about my book, and somebody proposed that we should give it to the Penguin publisher, and well, I was doubtful whether the biggest publisher of the world, Penguin, would like to publish that book. I cautiously asked them whether they would be able to publish that. They said yes. After that, when I gave them the manuscript, rather the translated form to the Penguin, they said it's a little long, we'll make it a little shorter. And at the same time, we'll discuss together the name of the book itself. So they gave it to another professional writer to shorten and to rewrite it. Before that, she asked me, "Sir, you talk once again to the Penguin people, because they are the big publisher, biggest publisher of the world. Will they really like to publish your book?" Okay, then let me do it again. Then I telephoned the people of the Penguin and I asked them, my professional writer, translator was asking, or rather doubtful, whether you would like really to publish it. And they said, certainly we'll do that. Because men like you, who have seen Mao Zedong, and then be together in the Tiananmen rostrum together with Zhou Enlai, Lin Piao, Guangqing, and all others. And after that, having a long discussion with Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and then with Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, still alive. You are a very rare commodity. Therefore, for us, you are a living legend. We'll gladly publish that. When I learned that, I was really happy. And then, about the title of the book, I simply said that let it be autobiography of Zoram Tanga. But they said, let it be reading inviting title. So they proposed from the rebel to the chief minister. I said, no. Politically, it will defame me. I don't regard myself as a rebel. Therefore, my political party people would not like to identify me as a rebel leader. But anyhow, still, that was some sort of a promotion from the previous Wikipedia story about myself. Many of the political leaders, when this, I believe it is Wikipedia, who made the story, when they write a book about them, their previous occupation, somebody were businessmen, somebody were teachers, somebody or so on. And when they wrote about me, previous occupation, they wrote it, Zoramta, terrorist. What a terrible thing. In fact, our fighting with the government of Indian forces is very clean. We have seen the Bangladesh fighting, and our fighting with the government of Indian forces is really professional and clean. So I cannot regard myself as a terrorist. Anyhow, let us make a compromise. Let us say guerrilla fighter. Indeed, I am a guerrilla fighter. Guerrilla means a small war, not a big conventional war. So, from a guerrilla fighter to chief minister. We compromised on that, and I think that it was really acceptable for my party people, for the government of India. And so the name was born. And so when the book was about to be published, a lot of things have to be done. And the Penguin people are trying their level best. And then after a lot of modification here and there, and at last the book was published. And then when the book was published, it was there in Aizawl, the English version itself was released by our Honorable Governor of Mizoram, General Vijay. And in my speech there, I told about myself. In the year 1971, in the month of December 16, when I went down from Rangamati to Chittagong, I met a lot of Pakistan officers and generals who were about to surrender on the 16th of December 1971. A lot of big guns are booming on the other side. So they said that General Niazi is going to surrender. You run back quickly. And then we ran back quickly. A lot of Indian army with helicopters dropping there, here and there, were fighting there. And among them was one Indian young lieutenant. But luckily we didn't meet. If we meet there, I would have shot him. Or he would have shot him. But then we meet now after a long time. We meet in a different platform. Just to release my book here, he became an ex-Indian army chief and then the governor of Mizoram. And we met in a different platform. He released my book. Thank God that we need not to shoot each other. That is, even the release of the book itself has a story. So the book was there, and Some people said that let us make a film out of that because there are many stories here. One, the preview maker who made on the day of the release said that it's a strange book. Many unusual happenings are there. Indeed, it was. If somebody asked me if it were a story concocted or made by you, people will say, Mr. Zoram Tanga, you made the main starring too fortunate. How can he be this fortunate? Escaping from different kinds of death. Once you read the book, it is strange. You know, there are many incidents in which sometimes I call it, it's like a foolhardy James Bond type venture and escape. When we escape from B-34 Gulmohar Park of Delhi with a double sentry and a spy cook inside our house itself to monitor everything. It's impossible to escape from that. But God made things in such a way that all the good things, all the luck things goes together to form one miracle escape right from the Gulmohar Park in Delhi to Calcutta, and then to Silchar, and then to Aizawl, and then Mizoram, and then cross to Bangladesh, and then straight on to Arakan for 24 continuous marching, together with my present leader, my previous Deputy Chief Minister, our then Chief of Army Staff, Mr. Ton Luya. We both escaped. When you read that there are many things which seems unlikely because we are too lucky. But anyhow, the fact is that it is true. And how we escape in the Arakan area. And then it's so strange when Dhaka fell. Almost 1 lakh General Niazi's soldiers were all captured by General Arora. We all mixed together with General Niazi's soldiers. They were all captured and we all escaped. That was the strange part of it. Hardly the people believe it. And after that, crossing over the Bangladesh and then went to the Arakan forest amid the tigers, elephant, wild beast, and so on. And at last, posing ourselves as a Chittagong hill truck people wanted by the new government trying to flee to West Pakistan. We made that story, and through Akiab, and then to Rangoon, and then to Karachi, and then to Islamabad, meeting the ISI people. And when Mr. Bhutto and his ISI Director General, Lieutenant General Jilani, met us there in Islamabad, they said, we never imagined that you will have a gut to escape an attempt like this. And we also said that we never believed that we will ever be able to do this. But anyhow, the fact is that we have reached Islamabad and met you. And after that, how we escape again from Pakistan to do the peace talk with the government of India, meeting here and there in different parts of the world, making a lot of story here and there. And if you read the book, you will find it sometimes interesting, sometimes funny. At one occasion, let me say that in Karachi, on the peace talk, after I went to Kabul for 6 times, and then went to Tehran. From Tehran, I returned to Islamabad. Karachi. And I lost myself at YMCA, Young Men Christian Association Hostel, because the lodging price was low. So then after that I went to Islamabad. Next time I have to meet again Government of Indian representative in Bangkok. So from Islamabad I went down again to Karachi, believing that they will not recognize me. I lodged again in the same YMCA hostel. But strangely, the receptionist still recognized me. Last time, about a month ago, you came with a Pakistan, with a passport of the name of Daniel. Now you come again with the name of Sandy. I was really afraid if the Pakistan ISI people know that the whole peace process would be finished. Then suddenly I invent some kind of story. You are not the only person who mistook me for Daniel, because he is my twin brother. I don't. Anyhow, we escaped. Like that, it needs a lot of presence of mind also at times. Anyhow, with that, after having a talk for quite a long time, I was instrumental in many of these things. And then, in the year 1966, there came Mizoram peace. And it became the most peaceful kind of settlement India has ever met. I believe that here in the Northeast also, we have not found any kind of peace accord which is more successful than Mizoram Accord. So, with that, we came over ground. I have, because Pulal Ding and his team, in a negotiation team, were all there in Delhi all along. Myself and with my boys, hiding them, holding the fort there in the Arakan underground forest for 7 years or so. I have to bring all of them without leaving anybody. So, the reason why I often need this water is that I have to give a lecture to my boys without a microphone, speaking 7 hours a day for weeks and months. I have to convince their mindset to come over ground, because when they see that these are our arms and ammunition, we have to hand it over to the government of Indian forces. And if we have to do that, what is the reason that we have to do? I have to tell them that government of India gave us a very good constitutional protection. But for a simple boy, sometimes a pair of trousers is more valuable than the constitutional protection. So we have to convince them and giving them lecture, and so on. In that, very ignorantly, I destroyed my good voice into one of the worst voice, which needs a perennial water supply. So anyhow, we have got that peace. All of the boys came over the ground, all the arms and ammunition given to the government of India. And government of India, one thing I like to mention in this matter is that Indian leaders are very great heart. They have the magnanimity. They have the greatness of heart. For example, how can it be that Mr. Laldinga, whose name was not even in the electoral roll, he could replace the constitutionally elected Chief Minister of Mizoram? Government of India had that kind of arrangement, that kind of magnanimity, that kind of great heartedness to accommodate the underground people, which is exemplary for the neighboring countries and all over the world. Therefore, my book, When the Reality is In, it reveals that government of Indian leaders have a great heart, very accommodating. And in the next point that I'm going to say about the peacemaker, which is an example we have to show to the other parts of the world. Let that be with the book and others. And then lastly, about the peacemakers. This is the most important because, as you know, in Myanmar, in 1962, in the beginning of 1962, in the year in which I was a headmaster of a middle school, age only 17 and a half years old. I was the headmaster in 1962. There is a coup in Burma. General Ne Win took over. Since then, Burmese people said that we are not afraid of the atom bomb because Japanese people, they received 2 atom bombs, Nagasaki and... But now, they have regained, they have resettled, as if there was nothing happened after 20 years or so. But in Burma, the wind stays a coup. 40 years have gone, 50 years have gone. It is worse than the atomic bomb. We are not afraid of the atomic bomb. We are afraid more of the military power in Burma. That is what the Burmese people used to say. Since 1962, Burma, as you know, is the worst of the worst, where economically they have everything, but economically they lack everything. Therefore, it is our responsibility to make peace in Myanmar. That is why General Long Min, about 7-8 years ago, and he made a proposal to the government of India that you should help us in making peace in Myanmar. So together with Mr. A.K. Doval, the present NSA, who is my old friend during those days, we went there and tried to make peace, and we have achieved quite a lot. Because the easy part is that the underground people said, what we want is a federation. If we have federation, we are satisfied. And then Myanmar government said, if they're satisfied with federation, as long as it is going to be within the Union of Burma, we will give them federation. One said, we are ready to give you. The other said, we are ready to receive it, we will be satisfied. But peacemaking is such that in order to make peace with these two formula, Myanmar government and the underground people went to China and they sent their emissaries. Chinese emissary tried a lot, totally failed. And then they went to Japan, and Japan emissary representative came. He tried a lot and failed. And they went to the United Nations. The United Nations representative came and totally failed. So at last, in the year 2009, they come to my house, those underground people, help us. So anyhow, with that, together with Mr. Doval, we have tried a lot. Well, the ball was moving very, let us say, satisfactorily. There came election. Aung San Suu Kyi came to power. And then she remained silent for 5 years. And everything was spoiled, put in a cold storage. So then the rest is the present history. So now, the Burmese government with the General Long Min really wanted peace. He went to Russia, he went to China, he came to India, he went to Thailand and asking for peace. So I believe that he wanted India most to help them in making peace. Because our neighbor, from where came the drugs, from where came the arms and munitions and everything. If there is a peace there, then it would really solve even a northeastern and many parts of our problem. So that is the great challenge that lies before us. Apart from that, there is Manipur, which needs a great sacrifice, which needs a great effort in making peace, and other parts. So, in this, what I like to mention is that from guerrilla fighter to a peacemaker, it's a very appropriate headline, I said. It is my intention because in Mizoram, we don't have much commodities, precious commodities to export. We are poor economically, but we have one thing which we can export, and that is peace. We like to export peace because whether it is in the Bangladesh side or in the Burma side or in the Manipur side, trouble everywhere. And then in the midst of that, there is an island of peace, time-tested peace for 40 years. Mizoram, we need to export it. It is a God-given gift that the Mizo people should export peace. That is why in all the northeastern problem, whether in the Manipur and the ground people or other ways, whether in the Naga or other ways, I went there because at least I have experienced those things, how fragile those things are. Let me say one simple example. One Indian, I will not mention his name, one Indian emissary sent by Vajpayee's government went to Muivan Isaac Shung. He asked them as a negotiator. He, in the beginning, asked them, what is your political demand? And Muivan Isaac Shung said, we don't have political demand. Recognize your sovereignty, and that's all. It ends. He started in the wrong way. So, when everything was topsy-turvy, Atal Bihari Vajpayee called me. I was a chief minister at that time. Zoram Tanga, you have been instrumental in making peace in Mizoram. Therefore, can you help us in making peace with the Nagas? I said, Atalji, I'll try my best. Because your emissary did the wrong thing. He started, what is your political demand? In trying to win over the heart of an underground people, it is like trying to win over the heart of a girl for a marriage. If you meet the girl for the first time and said, do you love me? If you love me, let us marry. What would be the date of the marriage? If we start like that, what would the girl say? I've never thought of that. So Atalji, in such thing, the first thing you have to tell the girl is that, oh, how beautiful your sari is. You have to start with that, then don't start with the date of the marriage in trying to win over the heart of a girl. Atalji was laughing like anything. At last, he requested me to send me to Bangkok and meet those Naga leaders. And luckily, I succeeded to some extent. I brought them down to Delhi and then the open peace talk goes on. The reason why I said is that when you say from guerrilla fighter to a peacemaker, sometimes a guerrilla fighter is one of a very good peacemaker also. Therefore, I believe that it is destined by God that Mizoram and myself to a very great extent should be instrumental in making peace, and in the process of which God provides anything which is needed on this. I believe that someday we shall surely be successful. And in conclusion, I have spoken too long. Otherwise, we politicians do not know where to stop. In conclusion, let me say that as we used to sing in the hymnal, you will read my book, and at the end of that, how God has helped me in overcoming all these strange things. and making a dovetail arrangement in all the happenings. Therefore, I was really amazed at all these things. Therefore, I concluded my speech as a hymnal said, when this poor, lisping, stammering tongue lies silent in the grave, there will my book proclaim to the world how great the Lord has done for me. Thank you.